So in the previous video, we set up our zombie spawn points and printed out the amount so we know everything was working right, as we're able to get all the points and push them into the array. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually make the zombies spawn off of these points. So in order to do that, let's create a function to spawn them. So I'm going to create a new protected section, do void spawn zombie. Then because we're going to be using a timer, we need to include the timer handle. Well, create a timer handle. So T or F timer handle, do T zombie spawn handle. And let's create the function definition. I'm gonna put it at the bottom. And we're gonna include timer manager to start the timer. And we also need to actually include the zombie class. So zombie base.h. And now we can start. So we have our zombie handle. Inside of begin play, I want to start spawning zombies. So get world get timer manager dot set timer. First parameter is our timer handle, reference to ourselves, then the function. So a Nazi zombie game mode, spawn zombie, then the rate at which we want to spawn them. I want to do 2 seconds, and then last parameter we're going to do is true. That's going to indicate that we want it to continue, well, we want it to loop, not just run once and stop. All right, did I mess up here? It's under game. I think. Wait, nope, Nazi zombie. Yeah, that should fix the path. I don't know if that little red thing goes away here soon. Hopefully it does. So now we need to get a random index of our zombie spawns to actually select from. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and do int random index equals fmath rand range 0 for the first value, and then the size of the array for the second one. So zombie spawn points dot num -1. So that way the random range goes from 0 to 4. So that's a total of 5. Because when accessing the array, when access the first element, we don't do 1, we do 0. So common knowledge there, but you know. So now let's go ahead and try to see if we can see if that spawn point's valid. So if a Nazi zombie spawn point equals zombie spawn points random index, then we want to spawn it. So if a Nazi or a zombie base zombie equals get world spawn actor a zombie base do zombie class, the one we created and set up initially or before, then location and rotation. And we have to create these two variables. So f vector location. So spawn point get actor location f rotator rotation get actor rotation and print a log. And now let's test it. Now, oh, yep, they are spawning. They're a little bit wonky as they don't necessarily want to recognize the player yet, but that'll be something we'll have to fix in the future. And just like those stopping, but that'll be all related to our the AI related stuff. So let's do a quick little test out of curiosity. Change to 0.1 for the delay that it spawns, and just see how well it does. Because I would like the zombies to spawn a little bit faster than 2 seconds, but I was afraid of them being spawned inside of one another, which that seemed like it took care of on its own. Yeah, so some of them are failing because they're spawning kind of inside one another, but that's not too big of an issue. And from performance alone, with all the blackboards running, I'd say it's doing pretty well considering we're probably well over 100 at this point. And I don't really have any sort of frame drops. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the back to 2 and compile and call it. I'll call it the end of the video. So we now have our zombies spawning at a random spawn point that we have picked out. So up next we will create some sort of control system to dictate whether or not the zombies can in fact spawn, how many, and we might even start working on a zone. But that might be done when we work on doors. So I'll see you then.